the patient has been taken to the intensive care unit. And as I mentioned to you earlier, the patient is now nearly dead.
Mr. Wijewardena, question for you right now is, do you think we would have been in a better position if we went to the IMF much earlier than we actually went right now?
Of course, you are correct, Jack. Had we gone to IMF, say, by January 2020, the present problems that we are facing wouldn't have been so severe.
Right.
And at that stage, we were in a very, better wicket to get the support from the international community also. But since we had postponed it, continuously claiming that we have a homegrown economic policy strategy to tackle the macroeconomic problems of the Sri Lanka, we had actually waited until such time the patient has now been, taken to the intensive care unit, and practically, in my view, Shak, the patient is nearly dead now.
Okay. But why did the previous government refuse to go to the IMF? They did claim that there was a homegrown solution. Was there a homegrown solution, Mr. Wijewardena?
Well, look, there was. If you look at the economic statements, policy statement made by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, then the then governor of the central bank, Professor W.D. Lakshman, and also by Dr. Jayasundar, who was the secretary to Ministry of Finance, who was the de facto economic policy maker of the government. All these policies were dependent on not from the type of economic reforms which the IMF had been suggesting. They had thought that they were able to tackle it in-house. And as a result, they postponed it continuously until such time the patient has been taken to the intensive care unit. And as I mentioned to you earlier, the patient is now nearly dead.
So, Mr. Wijewardena, the previous government and certain individuals or ministers in the previous government, they were just vehemently adamant in going to the IMF. Why was that? If the IMF was supposed to give us some sort of life support, why were they adamant to even speak about the IMF at cabinet meetings and at discussions?
That is why, Chuck, I said IMF was a four-letter word for most of the Sri Lankans. So that's why they didn't want to do that. And now, of course, if the present government is considering as a three-letter word, as we have mentioned, main reason, Chuck, is that if you go to IMF, you have to be completely transparent.
Right.
Whatever you do will have to be seen by other people also, and you cannot have an opaque policy. If anyone doesn't like to have a transparent policy package, he doesn't want to go to IMF.